Good morning. It's time for our daily 2-minute Bible reading and thought. I'm going to read the 13th and 14th verse of the 14th chapter of the Gospel of St. Matthew. Now, when Jesus heard this, he withdrew from there in a boat to a deserted place by himself. But when the crowds heard it, they followed him on foot from the towns. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them, and he cured their sick. May the Lord add his blessing to the word. I would say that was a random and senseless act of compassion that Jesus gave. Crowds couldn't expect it. Crowds, what made them think they deserved it? Jesus never questioned it. He just saw that they had a need and he helped. I was reading a book by James Moore, and it's called Some Things Are Too Good Not to Be True. And then he tells about Charles Kuralt. Remember when Charles Kuralt, the journalist and newscaster, had that program On the Road broadcast where he'd go out all across America and get stories about pretty much common, ordinary people. At any rate, this time out in Wyoming, Kuralt found his little bus that they were traveling in, came down with 2 flat tires, which Kuralt said was really one flat tire too many. And they were 50, 70, 80 miles from anywhere. And along came this old pickup truck down the road with an elderly rancher in it. He stopped and he said, "You boys got a dilemma." And he helped them jack the thing up and take the wheels off and the 2 tires and headed down the road, 50, 60, 70 miles to a gas station where it got that repaired and brought them back and put them on, and it was dark. And he said, "You boys would be better to bring the bus back to my ranch. Have a good night's sleep, have a good meal and a good night's sleep. Take off in the morning." And so they did. Said it was wonderful. The wife, when they saw him coming, made sure that she prepared a good meal. They got a good night's sleep in the morning. He said they sent us off with a belly full of flapjacks and sausage. He said, and the rancher even followed them out to the main road to make sure they got off okay. And Kuralt wondered, what would they have planned for that 24 hours that they spent with these 4 or 5 strangers? What made them do this random act of kindness? And he thought about that. And later he would write about it. And it's actually, what he wrote was, I think it's worth sharing here. Even if we run over the 2 minutes, it won't be that much longer. He writes this on his book, On the Road, and he says, "To read the front pages, you may conclude that Americans today are mostly out for themselves, venal, grasping, and mean-spirited. The front pages have room only for cheating defense contractors and politicians with their hands in the till. But you can't travel the back roads very long without discovering a multitude of gentle people doing good for others with no expectation of gain or recognition. The everyday kindness of the back roads more than makes up for the acts of greed in the headlines. Some people out there spend their whole lives selflessly performing loving acts of kindness day in and day out. You could call them heroes. I call them compassionate people with the mind and the spirit of Jesus Christ. And it reminds us, let's look and let's praise and lift up those selfless people, and let us be one of those selfless people. There's a joy in that. May God bless us. Let's go out there seeking, giving that random acts of compassion. May God bless us. Amen.